What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Axe Creation. Today we're going to be looking at tools right in 2. So before we jump into the song, check out the description below. You have the link for the tab you can download and follow along. This video is going to be part 1. It's going to work from the intro all the way to the breakdown, and then I'll make a part 2, which will be the breakdown for the rest of the song. This way we can kind of focus on the beginning of the song for those who have a struggle with it, and then those who are ready to play some of the more complicated rhythm ideas that are going on in part 2 of the song. We'll focus on that on next time. I want to be able to give time for each of them. So like I said, download the tab in the description below so you can follow along. We are in drop D, as in majority of Tool songs, and our time signature is 11-8. Well, at least that's 11-4. I take that back, I'm sorry. 11-4. And a lot of times for this, you can think about it as 3 measures of 3 and then 1 measure of 2. And as we play the second riff of the song, this will be much more apparent, but you want to just count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. That gives us a nice long phrase of 11-4. All right, so let's jump in. Beginning of the song, you're going to play this riff with the variation 7 times, okay? So we're going to basically, it's all based off of power chords in drop D. It's going to be O, open D, 5 on the A, 7 over your D string. We're going to pick out those 3 notes, and then your ring finger on your D string is going to slide up to 8. So let me go into the chord. So it's 5th position with open, and that's going to move to 8th position. So the same 3 strings, but 8, 8, 10. All right? And then we're going to drop that down to 5. So it's 5, 5, 7. And then we're going to move up to 10, and we're going to play an octave shape. Okay? And then the second time through, when you play that D, you're going to hammer on a half step. So now let's put the riff together. So we have... and that is the riff, right? So we're picking out the first chord, and then on the D string, that ring finger or your pinky, whatever you play with, is going to slide up to 10. And it's important for this riff that you keep that D string ringing out as you play the lower note. And then you just pick out the rest of the 2 chords, rest of the 2 strings. Same thing, as you slide backwards to 7, try to let that note ring out. Okay, so that's riff A, we'll call it, and you're going to play that 7 times. Now, just for clarification, the 2 endings, play through both of them, and that makes 1 time. So it's really long, you're doing it 7 times. You can think about it as 14 times with a different ending every other time, but that's way too long to count. I like to think about it as 1 phrase. So that's the intro riff, and he sings over that, and then you go into the next part, and I'll play it first, and then we'll explain it. That is the next riff of the song, and I like to play it on the low strings because if you listen to it, the timbre of the guitar, the tone of the guitar gets a little deeper, and even though you can play it there, it just sounds, the tone is just right there on the low strings where it needs to be. You can do a little palm muting as well. So basically we're making a power chord shape on 15 and 17, so it's open, and go on 15, 17, 15. And then on your measure of 2, little minor third shape, even though the tuning, we're not playing a minor third. 15, 17 on our A and D. So you have. This is the next verse riff, okay? So you're playing open D, harmonic A string 7th fret, and then low string 8th fret, harmonic G string 7th fret, low string 5, harmonic A string 5th fret, and then you're ending from the beginning. So it's. Okay, that counts as one time because both endings one time. So you do that 2 times all together, and then you have a variation that kicks in. Okay, so I'm going to play that twice, and then I'll run through the variation, and then we'll explain it. Now comes the variation part of it. So it's going to start off the same. Notice that the first time though I'm playing it, I have that extra note, which has been the ending or every other time in the beginning. So when we get to the section, you do that the whole time. And then after that, right? So you have open D, open A, 1st fret on the A, 3rd fret of the D, slide up to 5, harmonic on the A, intro, the ending we've been doing the whole song, right? So you have. And you're going to do that 8 times all together. Really long. Notice at the end of that phrase, I played on the low D. So just be careful of that, okay? So like I said, we're back into this now. So that's 1 time, and you can do it 8 times all together, okay? And there's also a little fill that goes on, like a secondary layered guitar track. Over this part, feel free to kind of play that. I'm not going to go into it specifically, but it's right in this area. Right there, you throw in some delay, improv a little variation on your own. You can have a good time with it. Also, there's some, speaking of secondary guitar tracks, there's the bends that are going on. Those are not in the transcription. They're a secondary guitar part layered on. Feel free, you're just bending the note D. Okay? So after we do that, 8 times, we have this riff. We have that little riff that we do twice, just like I just played, okay? So it's going to start out on your D string, open D, 5, 7, open 8. 10, 5, 10, 14, 12. I'll play that one more time. Okay? And then you're gonna bring back the very beginning intro riff. Back to what we just played. Back to the beginning riff. And now we have a variation where instead of going to 5, we're actually going down to 3. And then slide up to 5 and let that chord ring out for a moment. Okay? So let me just play that real fast, coming out of the other section. So now, here's a good chance to kick on more distortion, change your channel on your amp so you get a nice heavy sound. I'm not going to do that because I'm plugged into the computer. So here, we're actually going to change rhythm. It's the only time in the song we're actually going to change meter, and we're actually going to do 1 measure of 3, 2 measures to 4. So you get a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And it's a variation of the intro riff. You have the open 5/7 chord. Right? So you hold out the 8th fret, and then you come down and play power chord on the A string, 3 and 5, and then add the low string to that chord. And you can bend it. Okay? Do it 4 times. When you hold that out, the tabla solo or breakdown is going to start. Pull off and open. And the cool thing about the drop D is that when you do that, if you pull apart enough, you'll get the nice vibration from the string playing against the fretboard. Jones, you hear it all the time when Jones hits that chord. So there you go. There's part 1 of Right in 2. Like I said, the tab is in the description below. Take your time through it. Part 2 will be up real soon. And then, as always, let me know what you go with. So until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.